This team looks broken. Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't look like he should be a starting quarterback in the league anymore. I know there's rumors and reports about him retiring. He definitely should. This should be his last football game this Sunday. I mean, shit, he shouldn't even be able to get to start this last Sunday. Tyrod Taylor should be starting because Tyrod Taylor, the last couple minutes of the game, 2 passing touchdowns, 11 for 14. He facilitated this offense how it should have been looking all year. He would have been a better starting quarterback than Aaron Rodgers this year. And the bad thing about Aaron Rodgers is he doesn't know how bad he is. Everybody else knows except for him. And he's blaming it on other teammates. Mike Williams blamed that loss on him. That one primetime game. And, he blamed that pass catcher, Kenny Yabo. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Dropped a pass. And he's like yelling at him, what the fuck? And this pass was terrible. So he's blaming teammates for his own mistakes and him not playing to the level he should be playing. So that creates a locker room of dysfunction. That makes him a locker room cancer, and that's what he's been all year. And the 2 seasons of him with the Jets, it's like, we waited all year because last season he tore his Achilles, came back this year, is fully healthy this year. We waited a whole season for you to be ready, and we're 4-12. Worse than we were with Zach Wilson. So, that creates a lot of dysfunction in the locker room. Players on this team, important players. I mean, DJ Reed, he's a free agent next, season, next off season. And, reporters are asking him and I'm ready for free agency. I'm ready to see what's next for me. What? There's a game left, let's be professional. Let's, I want to take on this next game with my team. We'll see what happens with that when it comes. But nah, this dude's ready for what's next for him and, free agency. And, Sauce Gardner, he was, saying pay T. Higgins, and people are like, hey, get him to come to New York. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. And Garrett Wilson, there's reports about Garrett Wilson wanting a trade out of New York if Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback next year. So, and that's that explains how bad this situation has been. Aaron Rodgers was brought in to be that quarterback to help Garrett Wilson take that next step and be the superstar receiver we know he can be. He's already a superstar right now, but hit that next level with production, and it's been the opposite. Aaron Rodgers has, hindered him having an even better season that he did this year. So he's going to want out if Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback next year. And I think, hey, if they do trade him out, I don't think that's a good idea because he's a superstar receiver. He's one of your best players on this team, franchise key players. If I'm the Jets, I'm not trading him. But from an outside perspective, looking at it from a fan's perspective, I would want to see him in Houston with CJ Stroud, a superstar receiver, finally getting an opportunity to play with the superstar quarterback. And I think having that connection is going to be similar to Joe Burrow playing with Jamar Chase, other quarterbacks playing with people they have a great connection with and people that they have great history with. So I think that's something that would be really, really interesting. Garrett Wilson, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell when he's healthy, man. That's a receiver core. I mean, and that's better than the addition of Stephon Diggs, let's be honest. Stephon Diggs looks a little past his, prime. He doesn't look like the same player. And the injury of the torn ACL is definitely going to, cause him to miss a step again. But I think he's still going to be a good player. He'll head somewhere else probably. And I think Garrett Wilson going to Houston, that would help CJ Stroud get back to his superstar level play. This sophomore year for him has been a sophomore slump. And I think he would get back to being an MVP candidate and having a year like he had his rookie season. So Houston, that's exactly where I would want to see Garrett Wilson. Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, they're expected not to be on the Jets next year. I already talked about Aaron Rodgers. He shouldn't be on the Jets next year at any cost. But Devontae Adams, I really like Devontae Adams going to Baltimore or Washington. Those are 2 landing spots for him. Baltimore, it could be like, Derrick Henry, what he's been this year for the Ravens, a resurgence, showing he could be a top running back in the league once again in the right situation. And Tennessee, like the production he's been put up this year, almost 2,000 yards, 1,800 right now. So he's showing everybody he's still a top 2 back in the league. Devontae Adams, if he went to Baltimore, would be a similar thing. They really don't have that dominant outside receiver. Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Devontae Adams, Derrick Henry. Man, that's one hell of an offense. So I would love Lamar to get a weapon like that. He might throw for 5,000 yards if he gets Devontae Adams. Just another year of just getting better as a passer, having a go-to guy like that, man. And Zay Flowers would be able to eat and feed off of Devontae Adams, Rashad Bateman too. And Jaden Daniels, being the young quarterback he is, having a weapon alongside Scary Terry and Devontae Adams, that would do wonders for him. He has like veterans, Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is having a pretty good year. 600 yards receiving for Washington, but nah, Davante Adams would help, Jaden Daniels get that next gear, help him be a 4,000 yard passer and continue playing like a top 10 quarterback. So the future of this Jets team, though, they need to hit a reset. Aaron Rodgers needs to be gone at quarterback. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers gets his 500th passing touchdown this week. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. I mean, the stinker he put up last week, 0 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 12 for 18, 112 yards. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does against a pretty good Miami Dolphins defense. They get after the quarterback. The secondary plays well. Their linebackers are good. So I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't throw the touchdown. But if he doesn't, throw the 500th touchdown this week, he's never going to do it because he needs to hang it up. So, but if it was me and I'm the Jets, I would start Tyrod Taylor the last game. We don't owe you anything, Aaron Rodgers. You have done nothing for this franchise this year. If anything, you've made this franchise worse. But moving on to this next year, the Jets, they need to hit a full reset. Get rid of Davante Adams. Get rid of Hassan Reddick. Get rid of Aaron Rodgers. Maybe let, DJ Reed walk. He's 28 years old. Don't pay him contract. Focus on the key players on this roster, the young talent you have. Breece Hall still pretty good. Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner. You still have some really good players. Will McDonald had 10 sacks this year. Jermaine Johnson's going to be back. He's going to be a key defender for you, pass rusher this next season. So when it comes to this culture is damn near broken. It's terrible. And the owner, Woody Johnson, has a 17-year-old calling shots based off Madden ratings and shit. So what are we doing with that? Maybe he should have listened to him on that Jerry Jeudy thing, because Jerry Jeudy's having a good year. But so there's a lot of dysfunction. Only a couple coaches could help this culture get back to where it needs to be and help them being a winning football team. Rex Ryan, Ron Rivera. I like the Ron Rivera idea. You need a veteran coach that's a proven winner, that's done it before, a guy that, people are going to want to play for. Ron Rivera, though, the thing about him, not the best, finding talent. I mean, all the draft picks, all the players that they drafted in Washington, they're all fucking gone. All the ones that he picked. So I think Rex Ryan is a better option. He's already proven he could win with the Jets. This was the last guy that was winning with the Jets. Took him to an AFC championship. And he's been able to have a decent relationship with Woody Johnson. And he wants the Jets job. So that's the guy that I would bring in. He would have this defense back, playing at elite level. Offensively, he would be able to get a good offensive staff, a staff that will get the job done. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do at quarterback. Right now they have a top 10 pick, so maybe one of these top quarterbacks falls down in the rankings, but they're in a spot. Maybe you look at it, Justin Fields, and try to bring him in, but you need to do something. I think culture is the most important thing, and I think Rex Ryan will be able to fix that. That's the guy they need to bring in. I would trust him as a head coach to, provide energy, give this team exactly what they need. This team is not playing with passion at all. None of the good players on this team they're all having down years. Sauce Gardner's been getting cooked every now and then. Garrett Wilson's still having a pretty decent year. It's just been a down year for some of their best players. Breece Hall didn't touch 1,000. Offensive line, there's some old veterans on this offensive line. They just need a whole reset and a culture change. And yeah, Rex Ryan would be that guy to do that. Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.